Hi everyone. Today we are moving to discuss about another topic, that is the endosperm development in angiosperms. So the earlier video we were discussing about the double fertilization in angiosperms. As a result of double fertilization, or one of the male gamete which is fused with the egg nucleus and forming the zygote, and later it will develop into the embryo, and the other male gamete which will fuse with the polar nuclei or the secondary nucleus and forming the endosperm. Okay, so there are different kinds of endosperms are there in the case of angiosperms, and what are the development features, all these are discussed in this video. So first of all, what is endosperm? The endosperm, as we know that, which is a nutritive tissue which is found in the seeds of nearly all the flowering plants after fertilization. Okay, so I told you how it is forming. That is, it is as a result of the fusion of one of the male gamete with the secondary nucleus. The endosperm is normally formed in the process of double fertilization. So, which is the nutritive tissue and which is formed by the fusion of one of the male gamete with the polar nuclei, and which is forming a main role in the diet of normal human beings. Because as a result of the fusion of the secondary nucleus and the male gamete, which will form the endosperm, that endosperm which is very nutritive and which is also edible for human beings. And most of our diet which will contains the endosperm of different plants. And in some cases, some of the families in flowering plants such as Orchidaceae or Podostimonaceae, in all these cases, the endosperm is not formed, or their seeds are without endosperm. Such kind of plants or such kind of seeds are known as non-endospermous seeds or exalbuminous seed. Okay, we know that the function of this endosperm is nutrition. So that how these seeds or how this exalbuminous seeds surviving in that cases. In that case, the storage tissue which is formed by the enlarged cotyledons, or in all these seeds, the function of this endosperm which is carried out by the enlarged cotyledons. So you can see on the right side some of the examples for the exalbuminous seeds such as castor and our common pea. Okay. So, in all these cases, or all the exalbuminous plants, the function of this endosperm, which is carried out by enlarged cotyledons. When come to the types of endosperm, there are three different kinds of endosperms are there. The first one is nuclear type. As the name indicates, the nuclear type, the name indicates the first division and later which is followed by several division of nucleus without accompanied by cell wall formation. Which means we know that the first nucleus which is triploid. Why it is triploid? Because it is resulting after the fusion of the secondary nucleus which is already diploid plus one of the male gamete which is again resulting in the form of 2n plus n forming the 3n or the triploid endosperm. Okay, this triploid nucleus which undergoing continuous division without accompanying the wall formation. So that it is resulting a number of triploid nuclei without cell wall. They may remain either free or sometimes in later stages they become separated by walls. In all these cases, it is forming nuclear type. Okay, in some cases which remains free, which means they will never form the cell wall, or sometimes the first few divisions or first many divisions which is occurred by this free nuclear division, and later which may form the separated walls. Okay, one of the familiar or one of the typical example, that is the coconut endosperm. You can see that one of the practical example, because all of us very familiar with the coconut. In this case, the edible portion, or what we told that it is the coconut, it is the endosperm. You can see that the tender coconut, in the case of tender coconut, which is filled with water, or the coconut water that we say, that is actually the free nuclear division stage, so that it is a liquid in condition. And later, or when the tender coconut become in the later stages, the tender coconut water that will form solid state, which is by step by step, or which is progressive in nature, which means once the cell wall formation is progressed, the tender coconut water that become more and more solid, that become cellular. Okay, so you can see that at the mature stage, the tender coconut, which is having some coconut with some water, which means they remain partially liquid and partially solid, which means partially cellular and partially free nuclear. So that is one of the typical example, or one of the familiar practical example in our day-to-day life. That's why I told you that the endosperm of the most of the plants which are edible for us. So you can see the stages of development of nuclear type of endosperm. The first of all, the triploid nucleus in the embryo sac, and you can see that the embryo which is diploid, but the triploid nucleus, or the fusion of the secondary polar nuclei and the male gamete resulting in triploid nucleus, and after that, that triploid nucleus undergo several division without cell wall. And in the stage D, you can see that many of the nuclei which is located on the lateral side, which may result in the formation of vacuole on the central side. After that, this undergoing many more divisions and becoming free nuclear without cell wall formation. And in the case of cellular type, as the name indicates, the cellular type means there is a cytokinesis after each nuclear division of endosperm nucleus, which means after the first division, which is immediately followed by the cytokinesis or the cell wall formation. The term cytokinesis means the cell wall formation. You can see the endosperm, thus it is a nuclear form in the very beginning, and there is no free nuclear division, free nuclear stage there. You can see some of the example: Petunia, Datura, Adoxa. All these are some examples for the cellular type. You can see how it is forming. The triploid primary endosperm nucleus, you can see there, and the first division which is followed by the cell wall division, that is the two-celled endosperm, and after that the two cells undergoing division and forming four cell, which is immediately followed by the cell wall formation. So one of the nuclear division which is followed by the cell wall formation, there is no such free nuclear stage as in the case of the nuclear type of endosperm, which is very common in the case of dicots. In all these cases, the hostoria, which is a pushing tissue, which is very common in this cellular type of endosperm. The third one is helopial type, which is intermediate type between the nuclear and the cellular type, which means the helopial type that is having the characters of both the cellular and the nuclear type of endosperm formation. Here you can see that the first division, which is accompanied by cytokinesis, and after that, which is all the divisions are free nuclear. And the chamber towards the micropylar end of the embryo sac, which is usually much larger than the chamber towards the chalazial end, which means the first division. I told you that after the first division, which is undergoing a cell wall formation or the cytokinesis, so that which become two-celled. So one of the cell towards the micropylar end is larger, and the other cell, the second cell towards the chalazial end, which is smaller one. The helobial type of endosperm, which is more common in the case of monocots, which is reported in about 14 monocot families. So you can see that the development of helobial type of endosperm in this case. So you can see that there is in the embryo sac, the egg apparatus having the zygote and the secondary polar nucleus. This secondary polar nucleus and the fusion of male gamete, that is forming the triploid endosperm nucleus, or PEN stands for the primary endosperm nucleus. This PEN undergoing the first division and forming the two cells. One of the cell towards the micropylar end, which is smaller, and towards the chalazial chamber, which is the cell towards the micropylar end is larger, and towards the chalasa, that is the chalazial chamber, that is smaller. So you can see that there is an unequal proportion, that is the micropylar chamber, which is very much larger than when compared to the chalazial end. So this kind of endosperm, which is common in the case of monocots, and the free nuclear division and the cellular division, and the cellular division, which is common in the case of dicots. So these are the three types of endosperm development. The first one is the nuclear type, and you can see the example in the case of coconut. And the second, in that case, the primary endosperm nucleus undergo continuous division without cell wall formation. And the second is the cellular, which means the primary endosperm nucleus or the pen, which undergoing subsequent cytokinesis after each and every division. There is no free nuclear stage in the case of cellular, and that is the example, the typical example or the typical pattern in the case of dicots. And in the case of helobial type, you can see that helobial type is which is a intermediate stage between the nuclear and the cellular stage. In this case, the first division, which is followed by the cell wall formation, after that which undergoing free nuclear division, as a result which will form a chalazial chamber and a micropylar chamber. The micropylar chamber, which is much larger than the chalazial chamber. The typical example or typical pattern in the case of monocots. Okay, so these are the three common types of endosperm development in angiosperm plants. So what is the role of this endosperms in the seed development? In most of the cases, or in some groups, the endosperm persistent to the mature seed stage as a storage tissue. Such kind of seeds are called albuminous seeds, or in other cases, or some of the cases which are absorbed completely during embryo development, they are termed as non-albuminous seeds or non-albuminous endosperm. That is, we discussed in the first slide itself, that is about the ex-albuminous seeds. That is, they don't have the endosperm. Example, that is castor and the pea. And in other cases, in some other cases, the endosperm persists to the mature seed as a storage tissue. Such kind of seeds are called albuminous seeds or albuminous endosperm. So there are two kinds, albuminous and ex-albuminous. Ex-albuminous means the endosperm is devoid or such kind of nutritive tissue is absent in seed, such case is termed as exalbuminous, and when it persists, it is termed as albuminous endosperm or albuminous seeds. So the function which is distributed between both the endosperm and the embryo, which means the developing zygote or developing embryo having nutrition that is getting from this endosperm. Some mature endosperm tissues which stores fast, and some others such as our wheat, corn, or this store mainly starches or our daily grains such as rice, wheat, or corn. All these are we are actually ate the endosperm of that seeds. When we ate the rice, we are actually ate their endosperm, or wheat, we are ate the endosperm. Corn, in that case, we ate the endosperm. In all these cases, whether it is all the grains such as wheat, corn, rice, in all cases they are mainly store starches. While the other such as castor beans or resinous communities, in all these cases they are storing fat, or we are getting oils from that seeds such as castor oil. We know this castor oil. This castor oil that actually we are getting from the castor seeds. This castor seeds actually where the oil deposit, that is deposited in the endosperm. Okay, the others, the edible grains such as wheat, corn, or rice, they are storing actually the mainly starches. So in all these aspects, the endosperms that are beneficial for the endosperm or beneficial for both the plants and also for the humans. And the cells of the endosperm, histology means the type of cells. The cells of the endosperm which are usually isodiametric, which means they are having similar sides. That is why it is termed as isodiametric, and store food materials in them. In grasses or some of the monocot plants or rice, wheat, in all these cases, the peripheral layer of the endosperm which act as a cambium. So what do you mean by cambium, or what is the specialty of the cambium? Because they are capable of continuous division. That's why they are termed as cambium, or the function of the cambium is the division. So the peripheral layer of the endosperm in these cases which produces a series of thin-walled cells which become filled up with starch. Okay, so the grasses or the other plants, the peripheral layer of the endosperm which acts like a cambium, which will undergoing continuous division and which will produces a series of thin-walled cells, and these thin-walled cells are filled up with starch. On the maturation, the seeds, the so-called outermost layer which is ceases to divide and become filled with aleurone grains, or they are filled, or they become thickened. Okay, starch grains, aleurone grains means starch grains, and the walls become thickened there. The chief function of the aleurone layer is the secretion of some enzymes, diastase and the other enzymes. The wall of the cells are thin and they are devoid of pits. So that is about the endosperms and their development and their role, everything. So thank you.